So a couple of days ago, I posted a story on my Instagram to see how the people will react to privacy concerns. Now, this was the response that I got, and with it, it became clear to me that people actually are more privacy concerned. Now, most of us think that we can't do much about it, but there is in fact a large sum of things that we can do in order to maintain our data private and make sure that those things are not out in public. So keep watching this video till the end, and I will tell you how to protect your data and prevent it from getting hacked. My name is Saurav, you are watching Yadun Saurav. Let's get started. So recently, 130 Twitter accounts were hacked, out of which few were used to make public posts regarding transfer of bitcoins. Now, even though people didn't fall for it, but a couple of them did transfer. And after transferring those 1,000 bitcoins in the hope that they would receive double the amount, they didn't receive anything. Later on, another post came up which told that the money that was transferred in the hope of getting double is being sent for donations, and therefore it was somewhat a scam. Well, the people whose account were hacked were verified. So it brings up to a very big question: how secure are we? Now, big organizations like Google and Twitter try to do everything in their hand to protect our data. However, mistakes do happen, and in the past as well, these things have been happening. On the other hand, power does stay with us in order to protect our data. And it's on us how and what we do in order to not let that information, that sensitive information of our life, go out in public hands. Recently, Apple announced that iOS 14 would be out soon. And for all those people who are keen in knowing what Apple is doing, Apple is shifting its focus more towards the privacy. Now, people have been complaining that their information has been leaked, or like applications are using permissions which are not really necessary. Now, if you look, why does a calculator need access to your phone logs? Isn't that fishy? So Apple understood it, and they launched a feature in iOS 14 which is called access dots. Now, these dots means that whenever an application is using your camera or microphone in background, on the status bar on the right side, you will have a red dot or green dot based on what is being used. But what about the people who are using Android? In Android, so far, there is no such inbuilt feature that will help you do that. There is an alternative that I'll talk about in the later video, but I think that is a feature that should be there in the stock Android. But it's missing as of now. But maybe in the future updates, they will consider, who knows. But there are a few things that you can do as a user to protect your data, and I'm going to talk about it now. Number one, always be aware of what applications you're using and what permissions does it have access to. Now, let's say for example, we have Me Gallery, right? All those people who are using MIUI, they can go and check that the Gallery application asks for the permission of phone logs and contact details. Now, isn't that a bit fishy, because Gallery has nothing to do with your phone logs, but it's still requiring. And in some of the cases, if you don't provide these permissions to them, they fail to operate. So yes, always be aware of what permissions you're providing to what applications, and are those permissions really necessary. Number two, if possible on your mobile devices, download an application Firewall. Now, what this application will do is show you the list of applications that are installed on your mobile. And you can select which all applications don't really require any internet connection. Like say for example, your calculator doesn't really need internet connection for doing anything. You can just go to the application, restrict the application from getting access. And the next time you use, the application will make sure that your calculator has no internet connection. That way, even if it has some malicious code that is capturing your data, it will not be able to send it to someone because it doesn't have internet connection. And it's a very useful feature. Number three, Google Chrome extensions. We all use a tons of Google Chrome extensions on our browsers. However, it was recently found that in every 10 extension, there is one in which there is a hidden piece of code inside, which Google fails to recognize, and it sends probably our data to some third-party developer sitting out there. And it's a bit dangerous. What you can do is, while downloading it, First, make sure if you really need it or not, because there are some extensions that we all use, like finding coupon codes or like sales. Those are not really required, and that's why you can always prevent it. If you can prevent it, try to prevent it. And if there is no alternative to it, then try to download it from a source which is a bit recognized. Try to find the developer who is recognized, or go for reviews. Check people's review and only download when you are satisfied in it. Don't just download any extension that you find on the internet. 4. Pirated applications. Now we tend to download these pirated applications on our systems just to save some couple of bucks. Now it is one of the most dangerous things that people are doing. And the reason behind it is because these softwares has been tampered with. A third person is making changes to the original source code of the application and then putting it for download. Now you don't know the person and you don't know what changes he did. Maybe he inserted a small line of code that is programmed to send every keystroke that you're making on your PC or your laptop to him. In that way, all your credentials, all your credit card details will be leaked without you having to know. Now there is a way to get around it. One of the ways is to find alternatives to the applications. For every paid application out there, there is a free alternative present. Try to look for softwares which are open source, because they have a large community and they are also often free. So those applications can replace. If in some scenarios you fail to find it and you cannot purchase an application, try to emailing the developer of that application if that application can be availed to you for free. And if nothing works and you still end up downloading the pirated, then make sure you block the access of that application using the firewall settings on your computer. Number 5. Now if you paid attention to the start of my video, I told about Apple and what it did with iOS 14. It released a feature which let people know if an application was using their microphone or camera in the background. Now those were for iOS. People who are using Android didn't have any feature so far now. But there is an application called Access Dots that you can download and it will do pretty much the same work. The application itself doesn't take any other permissions. Now whenever an application will be using your microphone or your camera in the background, this application will let you know by showing a notification dot on your screen on the right side of the screen. Now the application is free of cost, but you can also purchase to get some extra features. Number 6. So it's highly recommended that you change your password of all the accounts every month. Just make some kind of change so that you remember it, and also the password that you have used before is not used again. That way, even if your information is leaked somewhere, the chances of them being able to use that information in your account will be very less, because you have already changed it, right? So that way, you will prevent your credentials to get out, and even if it is out, people can't use them. Now, those were 6 things that you can do in order to enhance your security. By any means, it doesn't mean that you will not get hacked at all, but it does mean that it would be very difficult and sophisticated if someone really wants to get it. But by doing everything, you will make sure that that is the maximum thing that you can do in order to protect yourself. Oh, and it came to my notice that out of all the views that I get, only 1% of the viewers are subscribed. So it would really mean a world to me if you can subscribe. This video was made in order to make people aware of what they can do in order to protect their data. If you really like it, you can share it with your friends and family so that even they will be protected. If you like the video, press the like button, and if you have any questions, feel free to comment in the section below. And I'll see you in the next one. Peace.